We're taking Joseph, Zoe's taking Joseph to Dr. Gray today for his initial kind of assessment and to see where he is and all that kind of stuff.
So yes guys, it's time for the assessment of Joseph, this 6-year-old who we have no affiliation with, but we do desperately need to know whether or not he has autism. So we're going to go along for the ride to find out together with Ben and Zoe. This should be fun.
So lots going on today guys, a big catch up from us. But I'm going to go and have a chat with the girls in a minute as well. They're dying to show you what they've been doing this week. It's been really cool.
Yes, of course, the twins are now being homeschooled by the professors of the year over there in Burghead, and they want to show us what they've been up to school-wise, which they shouldn't be, but, you know, they're going to anyway because it's content, everybody, content. Let's go and have a look, shall we?
Right, guys. It's been a really fun week this week. What's our project been this week, girls?
Harbour.
So we've been looking into Burghead Harbour. So Burghead. That's right. So we saw. So we've been a few times now to Burghead Harbour this week because what we've decided to do is. Yeah. What we decided to do is projects as well as normal work and reading eggs, online work, things like that. Trying to find a nice balance between doing work at home and going out and doing a project on something, and also getting some physical activity. And
I reckon they're going to be doing a lot of physical activities at this homeschool school of excellence, right? Not that I think that kids getting exercise is a bad idea. It's not. It's a good idea. But you know what Ben's like? Just take some traipsing around the woods and around the seafront just for the sake of it. All day, every day. That's what Ben does. So that's going to be their physical exercise on a regular basis. And they have also denied their kids doing homework for the sake of going outside to film some content. So this is all very important to Ben.
Also doing alright, go on then. We're looking at swimming as well, so we'll maybe do swimming on a Monday. So there's lots of things. Obviously
you're doing swimming. You're going to take them swimming as part of their school curriculum over there. Don't they already go swimming? Isn't that already a thing? You take them swimming. I'm sure you go once a week to swimming. So is this like, this isn't something new? Surely you already do this?
Everything's going to fall into place.
Daddy!
But, yes?
That means we get to go swimming twice because we're going to go swimming on Monday.
Tuesdays as well.
And then we go swimming on Tuesday.
Tuesdays as well.
See, I told you it was already a thing. They already go swimming once a week. So why put it down for twice a week, right? It doesn't need to be. It's like he's trying to find things to fit in to his schedule to do this homeschooling thing, right? They don't need to go swimming as part of your schedule because they already go swimming once a week. So maybe just keep that on your schedule and try something else in the timetable.
So me and Zoe, like at the start of this week, had a really big chat together about how.
Bloody hell, rather you than me. Having a chat with Zoe, bloody hell, how did that go then? How did that go? Was it, Zoe, how do you feel about homeschooling? Shall we do this? And she's like, and you're like, oh, good point, Zoe. I'll take that suggestion on board. And she's like, And Ben's like, yep, absolutely, Zoe. We'll do just that. Let's get right on it.
We're going to kind of go forward. And you know what? It's going to be a learning process for both of us. And we're going to learn along the way. There's going to be things that work. There's going to be things that won't work. We're looking at groups and activities in the area as well. So
Watch out, guys. If you are in that area, if you are neighbours of theirs, they are not content with fucking up your schooling system. They are taking their kids out of school and they're looking to do activities in the locality, right? So if you have kids around there, just hide them away, right? Because Ben and Zoe are coming with their selfie stick.
All the different scenarios and options that are going on in our head, we had a big old chat about at the start of this week. And do you know what, guys? We're not going to get it right straight off.
Well, you may not get it right straight off, but you do need to get it right. Okay, so learn from your mistakes and carry on going. You know, it's actually going to be really hard work, this whole homeschooling thing. It's not just a barrel of laughs, Ben. You actually need to put effort into it. You need to spend time with your kids and actually get them to do some work. You know, whether it's fun learning or, you know, out in the wild or at home learning something. They need to learn something, right? And I feel like you are probably better suited to this than Zoe. Sorry, Zoe, but it's probably true. I mean, it's you know, the lesser of two evils, isn't it? Ben is slightly more qualified, not by a great deal though.
The one main thing with the Reading Eggs online work is there you go. All right, online work is that you can do like an assessment to tell where your child is at that point with like reading, English and maths and things like that. So it's given us a good guide of where we are with both of the girls and also Joseph as well, and Florence will be doing it as well later on. I mean, at the moment she's doing the normal sort of activities for her age.
Sounds like you've got a grip on this homeschooling lark, Ben. I am proud of you. I, for one, am really, really proud of you. Keep it up. Keep going. And you'll have your kids in the GCSEs by the time they're 25. You know, life goals.
So, yeah, we're looking every week as well to do a project. And this week's project has been the harbour at Birkhead, because I really wanted to kind of... We walk past it and we go walking down there. And you visually see things, but to actually understand what goes on, and yeah, to understand what goes on with the fishing industry and the boats. And it's been really good this week because we've seen the boats getting fueled up, haven't we?
Yeah.
They've been putting diesel in the boats, and we were talking about the nets and the different types of nets, lobster pots, the boys on top of lobster pots. So what are the boys for?
So the boys are for, like, if you have a lobster
pot, yeah,
they put it on the boys so the fishermen know where the lobster pots are.
Exactly. So,
oh, I've got a question. See all this going down to the harbour thing and learning about the fishing industry and stuff like that. All very noble, all very good. I agree with it 100%. It's very interesting for a child to learn about that sort of thing. Great. However, you said that during school, right, you learn a lot of shit at school that you never need later on in life, right? You don't, right? That is actually true. That is true. But now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't learn about fishing, but doesn't that come into the same sort of category about, you know, learning shit that you're never ever going to need in life? I thought you're supposed to be teaching them stuff that they're actually going to use. Anyway, that's just my perspective on it. Maybe I'm wrong. I actually do think it's good to learn about, you know, stuff like that. But I'm just saying, you know.
So we got these books.
So they've got they've got jotters now. Sorry.
They're like scrapbooks. What we've done.
Yeah.
And I did this.
So Leah's doing hers at the moment. Joseph's got his as well. He was doing some yesterday. So shall I show people what we've done there? There we go. So Erin's written all hers out. So there's the little plaque down at the harbour, and then that was the girls down at the harbour, and then you've just explained.
It says sorry.
Now this brings me to my point. My main point about the homeschooling thing. You are filming it, Benjamin. You're filming it. You are monetizing their schooling. You're monetizing their learning and their education. And that's wrong. That's completely wrong. I did say to you when you were homeschooling, you better not bring out the camera whilst they are learning, because that's just wrong. And that could actually get you reported. You complain about people reporting you up for all sorts of shit, but I feel like this falls under the category of exploitation in a grander scheme of things. You know, the children are trying to learn, right? They're trying to be educated, and you're just whipping out a camera and making money out of their education.
So we have just been in to Joseph's hiding.
Well, Zoe, I'm sure that you didn't ask him if you wanted to be on the vlog. A lot of people always say, oh, well, if the kids don't want to be on the vlogs, they will, then they get the option, and if they don't want to, then they'll just say so. But you didn't ask them. You didn't ask him. You just panned the camera to him, and he hid because he didn't want to be on the vlog quite clearly.
We've just been in for Joseph's paediatric appointment. Are you hiding still? I can see you.
So despite him already showing that he didn't want to be on the vlog, you still went back and had a look to see if you could get him on the vlog and ask him what he's doing, why he's hiding. It's because he doesn't want to be on the vlog. I'm sorry, but they are absolutely stupid.
So, obviously, we have been pursuing a diagnosis for Joseph, an autism diagnosis for Joseph. But the system is backed up. Everybody knows that the system is backed up. But he has the most lovely consultant. She is amazing. Not just his consultant, obviously she's, everybody's. But she also, the twins used to be under her as well during, I think, Erin, they both got discharged COVID times. Erin was after Leah. So we've had her for the twins as well, and she's amazing. She's really, really lovely, really thorough. But obviously the system is backed up so much. The waiting times are huge. So the last time we went in was June 2023. We were supposed to see them again after a year, but obviously waiting times and everything else. So we had an appointment today. The problem we have, although, we know he has autism.
How exactly do you know he has autism, right? How do you know that? I thought you were looking to get a diagnosis, so he hasn't been diagnosed with it, but you know he has it. Maybe he has something else. Maybe it's not autism. Maybe it's something else that's wrong with him. You don't know unless you get an actual diagnosis.
They know he has autism. The problem we have is pursuing the diagnosis. The formal diagnosis is difficult because he is homeschooled. And at present, there's not anything in place here. I don't know if there is around other parts of the country, but here for children that are homeschooled. Because there is normally a report from the parents, there'll be a report from the consultant paediatrician, and then there'll be input from the school as well. And those three things, they go off to, I can't remember what the system is called, the people are called, begins with an A, it's gone from my memory. And they make a decision or a diagnosis based off of all of the evidence, if you like. So those people don't actually ever meet the child. They're the ones that do the diagnosis from all of the evidence provided, which kind of is way out there in my mind, but it's the way that it's done, it's the way that the NHS do it, it's the way that the system works. But obviously because we don't have that input from the school, it makes it difficult. But the consultant actually said that she saw somebody last week. She said she hasn't really seen anybody that's been homeschooled pursuing a diagnosis, like happens hardly, not very often. She actually saw somebody last week who is, the child is homeschooled pursuing a diagnosis. So now she has two of us. So she is, as she said rightly so, there needs to be some kind of other.
So there was literally no point to that actual conversation about this other person who had autism that was homeschooled. So you're just talking about some other random person that you don't know, that you decided to give tell their story on your vlog, but for no actual reason. There was no end to that conversation.
Avenue that people can go down that doesn't need the input from school. And she agreed with me in the fact that if we had sent him to school, there would probably be a lot of evidence because of the way he would have reacted to school. I mean, the first time he went to one of the appointments, he did actually do some of the, like they get them to do certain things, the blocks and those sorts of things. Today he wouldn't even look up. So,
okay, so I might be reading a little bit too much into it, but you're saying that when he first went to the appointments, he would interact and things, but now he won't interact, which means he is what, worse? Is that what you're trying to say? He's worse? Because that doesn't sound like autism. That, I mean, if you're autistic, you're autistic. You don't get worse with autism. I don't think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not autistic, or am I? Who knows? Anyway, no. So yeah, my point is, he used to interact, but now he doesn't anymore. Maybe that's more of a problem with being, you know, something that's going on elsewhere, is what I'm trying to say.
there is it's difficult. It's difficult because sorry, Olivia's driving instructor just drove past. It's difficult, I think, all round. It's difficult for them because there is a protocol that has to be followed. And like she said, are we still pursuing the diagnosis? And I said, yes, we are, because, and it's not, because she said, will it change anything? And I said, well, no, because we've got systems in place that help him. You know, we've prevented things from happening by not sending him to school. Because she actually said, is he an anxious child? And I said, well, no, but and she said, had you sent him to school, he probably would have been an anxious child. We would probably have quite a lot of evidence. Yes, darling. We are going home just a second.
Yes, Joseph, you're going home just as soon as Mummy stops talking to the camera, because it's important that she updates everybody on your condition. Right, it's important, so stop interrupting. Zoe, do you know how stupid you sound, right? You sat there talking to the camera about your child's condition, which is nobody's business, and yet your child is sat there in the back, and he's got autism, don't forget. He's, you know, and he's wanting to go home. He's actually saying, Mummy, can we go home now? And you're sat there yapping to people, talking about his condition.
To pursue that, but I knew that was going to happen, which is why we didn't send him to school, because I didn't want to put him through that. And like I said, the only real reason we are pursuing an official diagnosis is if he decides one day he wants to go to school. Luca's got sweeties. If he decides one day he wants to go to school or college or high school or whatever, he will have that in place so that any help that he may need, I mean, the system, that side of things isn't always working well, but as we all know, but he has that diagnosis.
Oh yes, yet again, another pop at the system. She can't help herself, can she? She needs to, you know.
And for his own peace of mind, you know, there's plenty of people that go through life that are autistic or have ADHD, and when you don't have that official diagnosis, they kind of have gone through life worrying there's something wrong with them, but never having an, you know, when you have that diagnosis, it kind of makes everything make sense. So no, it won't change anything, but it might well help him in his future, and that's the reason. So anyway, he has been referred to occupational therapy because he does have problems, as we've said before, with his fine motor skills, like holding a spoon, holding a pencil, those sorts of things. And we've been working really hard with him at home, but he still struggles. So we've been referred to OT for that, and that in itself may well have some impact in that that's a third party getting involved.
And that's important for you, isn't it? Never mind getting the help that your child needs. No, this occupational therapist is going to be helpful to get the diagnosis that you want to get. So what, you can get a bit more money in your little pay packet each week? Is that what it is?
So that may well help us in that case with the diagnosis. So yeah, she's also going to send me some other things on of ways of helping him regulate his emotions a bit better, which is something that we obviously struggle with, and that he struggles with. But generally, you know, she agrees we've got everything kind of put in place for him as a family that help him. You know, the things that he can do because his siblings help him. Like she sort of said, you know, can he kick a ball? Can he ride a bike? And although he can't ride a bike, he can kick a ball because the boys have spent time with him in the garden helping him. So, you know, having, like, Florence will, and I said this to her, Florence will make him do role play stuff, like
work at her cafe.
Yeah, work at her cafe and play doctors with him, and she will demand that he does it. So some stuff that we've tried to get him to do before and the others have tried to get him to do before that he's not really got any interest in, Florence will make him do it because she will demand that he comes and works in her cafe. And he might not do it for long, but he does do it because he loves her to bits. So she will demand that she comes to his doctor's surgery, her doctor's surgery. So he will go, yeah, or be made up or do hair. I mean, some things he doesn't allow, but you know, it really does. Having so many siblings really does help him. And I think as a family, building up this kind of, and she agreed, you know, we've all got these things in place that help him. So she's going to do some sort of digging and find out about some things. She's going to refer us to occupational therapy, have a word with a health visitor as well. She did even say about possibly knowing somebody with a therapy dog, so that could be helpful. A dog that's used to go into schools and things like that, which would be amazing if we could do that. So yeah, it's a positive appointment. I think a positive appointment. It's one step closer. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we know that he has autism, and that's how we live, and that's fine, you know.
Well, you think he's got autism. There's a great many people that watch you that would disagree, right? I have no actual opinion on this. I'm just reporting on what you're telling, and you think that he's got autism. You need a diagnosis, though, don't you? You do need one.
We deal with it that way, but for him to have the official diagnosis as he grows up will be a really helpful thing.
The old one.
But for now, we're going to go and get some lunch. Because are you hungry, Jojo? I'm hungry. So we're going to go home and get some lunch.
Of course he's hungry. He's been sat there for ages waiting for you to stop yapping. Okay, now. So yeah, what did you think about that then? We find out that Zoe would love to share her child's life with you. You know, not her own life, her child's life. And later on in that same vlog, right at the end, she talked for about 10 full minutes about the exact same thing that she's just told us there, just in a little bit more detail, right? So basically exact same thing. It was like, okay, so you've already told us this. What else can you add to the conversation? The answer was nothing. We've also found out about what the girls are doing in their homeschooling, which is going fabulously great at the moment. Anyway, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Until next time, have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.